Japanese baseball legend Ichiro Suzuki is one of the greatest players in the history of the sport. He was known for his amazing hitting ability, electric base running speed, excellent defense, and a cannon of an arm. He spent 28 years in professional ball between the Japanese NPB and Major League Baseball, a testament to his rigorous training regimen and attention to detail. His amazing baseball career eventually awarded him a spot in the Baseball Hall of Fame on January 21st, 2025. In this video, we will reflect on Ichiro's legendary baseball career. However, before I do, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification so you won't miss future content from this channel. And now, here's a quick message from SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RoofTopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. Ichiro was born on October 22, 1973, in Nishi Kasagaigun, Japan, and he grew up in Yoyoyama, a small town outside of Nagoya. By the age of 7, he asked his father, Nobuyuki Suzuki, to train him to develop his baseball skills. The workouts included practicing infield, outfield, and much repetition of hitting practice. Originally, he was a right-handed hitter, but his father insisted him to hit left-handed to get to first base faster. By his years in high school, Ichiro enrolled into Aikyodai Maiden Koko, located in Nagoya, as one of the top baseball schools in Japan. Although the workouts were rigorous, and Ichiro even admitted it was one of his tougher years in development, the hard work and preparations paid off. Throughout high school, he posted a .505 batting average and struck out just 10 times and never struck out swinging, showcasing his potential as a future baseball star. In the 1991 NPB draft, Ichiro was drafted in the 4th and final round, which was very low and shocking. He was drafted so late because of his small stature at only 5'9" and being 120 pounds. He made his debut in 1992 and spent most of the 1992 and 1993 seasons in the minor leagues for the time being. Initially, the manager wanted him in the minors due to his unique hitting mechanics, where he looks like he's golfing and practically running the moment he swings the bat. His swing was nicknamed Pendulum. One of his highlights in his initial years was when he hit a home run off eventual Japanese MLB star Hideo Nomo. Ichiro finally got his full-time starts in the 1994 season, where he broke out batting .385, hitting 13 home runs, and stole 29 bases. It was also notable that Ichiro changed his name on his jersey from Suzuki to Ichiro. The reasons were that Ichiro was the second most common name in Japan, and it was a marketing opportunity for Ichiro since his name was an attractive brand name. He won several awards including MVP, Gold Glove Award, Best 9 Award, the batting title, and an All-Star appearance. The 1995 season was when Ichiro took it to the next level. He batted .342, 25 home runs, 80 RBIs, and 49 stolen bases. His amazing individual performance got him his second consecutive MVP award. He helped lead the Blue Waves for the Japan Series against the Tokyo Yakult Shallows. Unfortunately, they would fall in a 7-game series. However, in the very next season, the Oryx Blue Waves redeemed themselves by winning the Japan Series championship. Yomiuri Giants, led by the other Japanese and eventual MLB star Hideki Matsui. Ichiro also won his third consecutive championship by batting .356, 16 home runs, 84 RBIs, and 35 stolen bases. Over the years of his career in Japan, due to his dominance, he eventually got the nickname Kabusu, which means monster in Japanese. Later in 1999, Ichiro married Japanese TV announcer Yumiko Fukushima on December 3, 1999, at a small church in Santa Monica, California, and they are still married to this day. On February 18, 1998, the Mariners were negotiating with the Oryx Blue Waves to possibly bring Japanese baseball superstar Ichiro Suzuki to the Seattle Mariners, as there was a clear need of help in left field to help complement Ken Griffey Jr. and Jay Buhner. As much as Ichiro was interested in playing Major League Baseball, along with an opportunity to play with his favorite baseball player, Ken Griffey Jr., considering both had connected earlier in 1995, the Mariners and the Blue Waves were not able to reach an agreement, It also didn't help that there was a rule where Japanese players at the time had to serve 9 years in Japan before moving to Major League Baseball. But you have to imagine that outfield core of Ken Griffey Jr., Ichiro Suzuki, and Jay Buhner in their primes. That could have been one of the greatest outfield cores in Major League Baseball history. In spring training of 1999, Ichiro, along with 2 members of the Oryx Blue Waves Japanese baseball team, were invited to the Mariners spring training camp. They trained for the first 2 weeks and even had opportunities to play in the first 4 games of spring training. Unfortunately, Ichiro suffered food poisoning and only played 1 game with just 2 at-bats. Sometimes I do wonder how he would have performed had he been healthy. 2000 would be the final season for Ichiro in the NPB, where he batted .387, 12 home runs, 73 RBIs, and 21 stolen bases. With Ichiro fulfilling his 9-year requirement in the NPB in order to be eligible for Major League Baseball, he finally became a free agent after years of interest playing in the Major League Baseball. The Seattle Mariners, who already had Ichiro in the 1999 spring training through an exchange program with the Blue Waves, successfully signed Ichiro to a 3-year, $14 million contract after bidding $13.2 million for his posting rights, which was $4 million more than the Los Angeles Dodgers. To add more detail to this story, Mariners owner at the time, Hiroshi Yamauchi, authorized the Mariners to do whatever it took to get Ichiro on the Mariners. Former Mariners president Chuck Armstrong stated, "Mr. Yamauchi told us, whatever we have to spend, we needed to spend what it took to get him." Also, the Mariners had connections with Ichiro years prior through former Mariners scouting coordinator Jim Colborn, who oversaw players in the Pacific Rim and heavily influenced the Mariners to sign Ichiro. On April 2, 2001, Ichiro made his Major League debut. It was the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Mariners were down 4-2 when Ichiro recorded his first Major League hit.
The 2-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball back up the middle. That's into center field, and Ichiro is on the board with his first Major League hit.
This sparked the Mariners to rally with Edgar Martinez driving in Ichiro.
Right field for a base hit. Here's Ichiro, sprouting wings a flying around third to score.
And John Olerud tied the game with an RBI single. Later in the bottom of the 8th inning, Ichiro was up with Carlos Guillen at first base, and he laid down a bunt.
There's the bunt by Ichiro. Beauty up the first base line. Throw to first, gets up by Ortiz. Guillen to third.
John Olerud would drive in Carlos Guillen with a sacrifice fly for the Mariners to take the lead 5-4 and win the game for the Mariners. Later in the opening weekend, Ichiro hit his first Major League home run against the Texas Rangers, breaking a 7-7 tie in extra innings for a 9-7 Mariners victory. In the next series against the Oakland A's, Ichiro showed his amazing arm to throw out Terrence Long in a play that continues to be a part of all-time MLB defensive highlight reels.
For third is Terrence Long. The throw by Ichiro. Beautiful. Peggy, get him!
In the first half, Ichiro blossomed into a superstar and contributed to the Mariners being the best team in baseball. He was voted in to be a starter in the 2001 All-Star Game in Seattle, along with 7 other Mariners representing as well. In the All-Star Game, Ichiro in his first at-bat went up against Randy Johnson and got an infield base hit, beating Randy Johnson to first base. Later on in the season, he helped the Mariners not only win the 2001 American League West Division, but he also helped the Mariners tie the Major League single-season record of 116 wins, along with the 1906 Chicago Cubs. In the division series against the Cleveland Indians, Ichiro batted an amazing .600, which was actually the Major League record in the division series at the time, and the Mariners edged out the Indians in 5 games. Unfortunately, in the American League Championship Series against the Yankees, Ichiro struggled batting just .222, and the Mariners would lose 4-1. Overall, Ichiro batted a league-leading .350 along with 242 hits, which is still the rookie record, and the league-leading 56 stolen bases. He also got the 2001 AL MVP award and Rookie of the Year, along with a Silver Slugger and a Gold Glove. Ichiro and Fred Lynn are the only players to this day to win the MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same season. In the 2002 season, Ichiro was off to another good start, batting .316 in April, but then in May, he batted .404, and at some point in June, he was batting up to .384. He was once again voted into the 2002 All-Star Game as a starter, and in the first series of the second half against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, Ichiro hit 2 home runs in a game for the first time of his career. He ultimately finished the season batting .321, 208 hits, and 31 stolen bases. Unfortunately, the Mariners missed the playoffs thanks to the Moneyball Oakland A's and the random run of the 2002 Angels. In 2003, Ichiro had another fine season where he batted .312, 212 hits, 34 stolen bases, and a career-high 13 home runs. To add more to the 2003 season, he hit 2 Grand Slam home runs. This first one was on July 18, 2003, when the Mariners were trailing 3-2 in the top of the 9th inning against the Royals. Despite another successful season for Ichiro, the Mariners unfortunately missed the playoffs for the second season in a row. In the first half, he hit .321, including a 50-hit month of May, which got him another start for the 2004 All-Star Game. In the second half, he caught fire with 50 hits in July, August, and September-October, and he batted .429 in the second half. As the season was drawing to a close, he was right on the tail of George Sisler's 1920 single-season hit record of .257. On October 1, 2004, Ichiro tied Sisler at 257, and then on his very next at-bat, Ichiro broke the record.
And a ground ball back at the middle, and there it is! He's a new all-time hit king!
He was then congratulated by Sisler's granddaughter, Frances Drockelman.
To Mrs. Drockelman, and congratulating her.
Ichiro finished the season batting a career-high .372, 262 hits, and 36 stolen bases, and he even posted a career-high 9.2 wins above replacement. 2005 was a down season for Ichiro by his standards, where he batted .303, 206 hits, and 33 stolen bases, but a career-high 15 home runs and 12 triples, getting him another All-Star appearance. There were 2 notable highlights of his 2005 season, when he robbed Garrett Anderson of a home run in Spider-Man style, and on June 14, 2005, Ichiro reached a milestone where he hit his 1,000th Major League hit. He was able to accomplish this faster than any Major League player in history. Before the 2006 season, Ichiro represented his country Japan for the 2006 World Baseball Classic, but before the tournament, Ichiro was met with controversy when he made derogatory comments about Japan's bitter rival South Korea. He stated that South Korea smelled like garlic.
That's hurtful, man. Well, next time, just let it go. Let it go.
He allegedly stated that he wanted to beat South Korea so badly that South Korea won't want to play Japan for another 30 years. However, that statement was deemed to be mistranslated, as the actual statement was, "I want to win in a way that the opponent would think, we cannot catch up with Japan for the coming 30 years. We should not merely win the games." Yeah, that seemed to be the more correct statement. Or was it? In Pool 1, South Korea and Japan were grouped together in the group stage, along with China and Chinese Taipei, also known as Taiwan. Both Korea and Japan won their first 2 games until they squared off in the final group stage match in the Tokyo Dome. Initially, Japan took a 2-0 lead and nearly extended the lead with the bases loaded until Lee Jong-young made an amazing diving catch to prevent Japan from doing any more damage. Korea then rallied to win over Japan 3-2 thanks to this home run by Lee Sung-up. With this victory, South Korea won the group stage. In the second round, which was another group stage with Japan, South Korea, the USA, and Mexico, South Korea won their first 2 games over Mexico and the USA. Japan struggled, splitting their first 2 games. Japan was then in a must-win situation against South Korea in order to avoid the possibility of elimination. The game was tied until the top of the 8th inning when South Korea put 2 men on base, and then Lee Jong-bom, also known as the Korean Ichiro, drove in 2 runs to put South Korea ahead 2-0. Japan in the bottom of the 9th inning did bring the game to within 1 with a home run by Tsuyoshi Nishioka, but Oh Sung-won closed the door to give South Korea the needed victory, where they would advance to the championship round. After the game, South Korea taunted Japan by placing the Korean flag on the pitcher's mound, and Ichiro didn't exactly take it lightly due to Japan being eliminated from the tournament. Oh wait, the very next day, Mexico performed a huge upset on the United States, which had players such as Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., Roger Clemens, Derek Jeter, and Chipper Jones. Wait, that team couldn't beat Mexico? With the United States out of the tournament, that put Japan in the championship round against South Korea. In the semifinals, the game was once again tightly contested, where there were no runs scored through 6 innings, until Japan feasted on South Korea, scoring 5 runs in the 7th inning, off notable MLB Korean pitcher star Byung-young Kim. Wait, South Korea, Did you forget that Byung-Hyun Kim nearly cost the Diamondbacks the 2001 World Series against the Yankees? Oh wait, it was just one game? Well, how about this one that happened the very next game?
Here in Game 5, Brocious hits one in the left. Back at the wall. The Yankees have tied it again.
And yet you still let him compete in the tournament? Japan ultimately defeated South Korea 6-0 and won the championship over Cuba 10-6, and Ichiro was a significant part of the victory. Ichiro overall in the tournament batted .363, 1 home run, and 5 RBIs. Yeah, South Korea, maybe you shouldn't have prematurely celebrated by placing the flag on the pitcher's mound. Yeah, you jinxed it. Great job. In the 2006 season, Ichiro batted .322, a league-leading 224 hits, and 45 stolen bases. He was only caught twice. He earned a starting spot in the 2006 All-Star Game once again. In the 2007 season, Ichiro reached a milestone where from April 29, 2006 and May 16, 2007, he set the American League record of 45 stolen bases without getting caught. The Major League record belongs to Vince Coleman, who once played for the 1995 Seattle Mariners. Ichiro had an amazing first half as well, where he batted .359, including batting .427 in June, which may have been a part of the Mariners' 8-game winning streak, and put them at 45-33, putting them well into playoff contention. They hadn't played this well since 2003, since the Mariners struggled heavily since the 2004 season. Ichiro was then selected to the 2007 All-Star Game, and he put on a show. In the 5th inning, Ichiro hit an inside-the-park home run, and this was the only time he did so in his Major League career. He then won the MVP of the 2007 All-Star Game. Shortly after the 2007 All-Star Game, Ichiro and the Mariners agreed to a 5-year, $90 million extension. However, controversially, it was rumored that Ichiro only accepted an extension due to the resigning of Mariners manager Mike Hargrove. Initially, when Mike Hargrove joined the Mariners in 2005, he wanted to change Ichiro's hitting style by wanting him to draw more walks. Obviously, Ichiro did not take that lightly, and both of them were not able to coexist. Mike Hargrove resigned on July 1, 2007, right in the middle of the Mariners' 8-game winning streak. Initially in the second half, the Mariners still played decent with the exception of a 6-game losing streak in late July. They played well for the majority of August when they were 20 games above 500, but then between August 25th to September 11th, the Mariners went on a 3-15 stretch, which effectively put them out of playoff contention. Despite finishing the season 88-74, Ichiro batted .351 with a league-leading 238 hits and 37 stolen bases. 2008 was a lost season for the Mariners, where they lost 101 games despite an over $100 million payroll. As for Ichiro himself, he still played well, batting .310 with a league-leading 213 hits and 43 stolen bases, and appeared in the 2008 All-Star Game. Early in 2009, Ichiro represented Japan once again in the 2009 World Baseball Classic, and I would explain how the tournament went leading up to the championship game, but it's just way too complicated to explain, and even more complicated to explain than the 2006 World Baseball Classic. Anyway, South Korea and Japan squared off for the championship game in Los Angeles. In the 3rd inning, Japan jumped out to a 1-0 lead, but failed to score more runs with the bases loaded, ending in a double play. However, in the bottom of the 5th inning, Shin-Soo Choo, who was playing for the Cleveland Indians at the time, hit a solo home run to tie the game. Japan then took a 2-1 lead in the 7th inning, contributed by an Ichiro bunt which led to an RBI single by Nakajima. Then in the 8th inning, Japan added another run by a sacrifice fly by Iwamura. Japan was just 6 outs away from winning the championship over South Korea. However, South Korea scored a run by a sacrifice fly by Ireho, which was contributed by a Ibum Hole double. Then in the bottom of the 9th inning, with the game being 3-2 Japan lead, Yu Darvish came onto the mound, who was typically a starter, but Japan wanted one of their top pitchers to finish the game. However, Ibum Hole hit a clutch RBI single to tie the game at 3-3. South Korea had a great chance to walk it off, but failed to do so. In the top of the 11th inning, Japan had runners on 2nd and 3rd, and it was Ichiro up to bat. I remember watching this game cheering for my family's country, South Korea, and I was horrified to watch Ichiro even as a die-hard Mariners fan. Ichiro scored in 2 runs to put Japan up 5-3, and that was his 4th hit of the game. Yu Darvish then ended South Korea with a strikeout, and Japan won the tournament for the 2nd time in a row. I remember in high school the day after that game, my history teacher, who was actually the baseball coach at the time, knowing that I'm Korean, He certainly reminded me of Ichiro's game-winning hit, along with some of my classmates who are Mariners fans also reminded me. They asked me stuff like,
"Hey Joe, did you see that hit by Ichiro?"
And I was like, you. It still really hurts to this day, but I'm Korean. Can you really blame me? In the 2009 season, Ichiro finally achieved his dream of playing alongside his favorite player, Ken Griffey Jr. However, he did miss the first 8 games of the 2009 season due to a bleeding ulcer which may have been contributed by the stress of playing in the World Baseball Classic. I mean, with playing South Korea so many times and in the championship game, I could see why. In the 2009 season, Ichiro made his season debut on April 15th when Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 400th home run as a Mariner, and Ichiro followed with a Grand Slam home run. The Mariners went on to win 11-3 over the Angels. On September 6, 2009, Ichiro made another achievement by collecting his 2,000th Major League hit, and he became the second fastest player to reach that milestone behind Al Simmons. Then on September 13th, Ichiro hit his 200th hit for the 9th consecutive season, setting an all-time Major League record. I'm not sure if that record will be broken again. Later on September 18th, 2009, it was the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Mariners were down 2-1 against the New York Yankees. Despite Felix Hernandez pitching a complete game, and was in line to lose the game, Ichiro went up against Yankees legend Mariano Rivera, and he hit this amazing 2-run walk-off home run 2009 season. After the end of the 2009 season, with the Mariners' 85th victory, a very special moment happened. Ichiro and Ken Griffey Jr. were carried off the field despite the fact the Mariners missed the playoffs once again, but the morale seemed to be very high since the Mariners were able to recover from the disastrous 2008 season, and it had seemed that Ken Griffey Jr. turned around the culture of the team and things looked bright for the future. Ichiro later admitted when playing with Ken Griffey Jr., "He helped me in more ways than I can express being his teammate. He helped me in more ways than I can express. Being his teammate is truly one of my career highlights." Man, if only Ichiro and Griffey played together in the late 1990s. What could have been? Overall in 2009, Ichiro batted .352, a league-leading 225 hits, 26 stolen bases, and even 11 home runs, along with another All-Star appearance. 2010 would be the final All-Star season for Ichiro, as he achieved another 200-hit season. This put him at a tie with Pete Rose for the most 200-hit seasons in his career, with 10. The only difference between the two was Ichiro did it in consecutive seasons. He also tied the Major League record by leading the league in hits for 7 seasons in a row. He overall batted .315 with 214 hits and 42 stolen bases, giving him another All-Star appearance for the 10th consecutive season. Unfortunately, his success was overshadowed by the fact that the Mariners had another 100-loss season despite huge expectations due to additions of All-Stars Cliff Lee and Sean Figgins. Also, Ken Griffey Jr. ghosted the team by driving home all the way from Seattle after poor play and criticism for rumored reports of Griffey sleeping in the clubhouse during a game. 2011 was finally the season where Ichiro lost his step, where he batted less than .300 for the first time in his career and hit less than 200 hits. However, there was a notable game on August 13, 2011 against the Boston Red Sox where Ichiro hit a leadoff home run which sparked a 5-0 run in the first inning, then later threw out Jacoby Ellsbury off a sacrifice fly by Dustin Pedroia, resulting in a double play. He finished the season batting .272, 184 hits, and 40 stolen bases. He did, however, break the Mariners' hit record early in the season owned by Edgar Martinez. In 2012, the Mariners opened their season in Japan, and Ichiro collected 4 hits on opening day. 2012 was a strange season for Ichiro where manager Eric Wedge made the change to have Ichiro bat third to allow Sean Figgins to lead off, as he once was when he played for the Angels. The only notable highlight that stood out between them was on April 18, 2012, against the Cleveland Indians. Figgins and Ichiro hit home runs in the same first inning, leading to a 4-1 victory. Then on July 23, 2012, Ichiro was traded to the New York Yankees for a package of Danny Farquhar and DJ Mitchell. It was clear the Mariners needed to trade Ichiro as they were in attempts of rebuilding the team through the farm system, and Ichiro wanted to compete for a championship. Interestingly, the Yankees were actually in Seattle when the trade happened, so it was only fitting that Ichiro would play against the Seattle Mariners, and on his first at-bat, he was met with a huge standing ovation. With the Yankees, Ichiro contributed well, batting .322 and driving in 27 runs, helping the Yankees win the American League East Division. and Ichiro would finally compete for the playoffs for the first time since 2001. In Game 1 against the Baltimore Orioles, the game was tied at the top of the 9th inning, and Ichiro contributed to a 5-1 rally where the Yankees would win that game and the series in 5 games. In Game 1 of the American League Championship Series against the Tigers, the Yankees were trailing 4-0 in the bottom of the 9th inning. With one man on, Ichiro hit a 2-run home run to keep the Yankees in the game. The Yankees tied the game off pinch hitter Raul Ibanez's home run, who took over for Alex Rodriguez. Unfortunately, the Tigers scored 2 runs in extra innings, and the Tigers won 6-4. The Tigers went on to sweep the Yankees in 4 games to advance to the World Series. Sadly, this was Ichiro's final postseason appearance. In 2013, Ichiro and the Yankees agreed to a 2-year, $13 million contract extension. On opening day, Ichiro collected his 4,000th professional hit between Japan and Major League Baseball. He was getting close to Pete Rose's hit record of 42.56. In his final season with the Yankees, Ichiro hit .284 with 15 stolen bases in 143 games. In 2015, Ichiro joined the Miami Marlins. Although he had the worst offensive year of his career at the time, batting just .229, there was a highlight at the end of the season where Ichiro got to pitch for the first time of his major league career. Ichiro and the Marlins agreed to a contract extension along with a team option for 2017. 2016 was a historic season for Ichiro, where on June 15, 2016, Ichiro broke Pete Rose's professional hits record of 42.57, and Pete Rose actually had a comment on that.
I got 4,256 hits in the major leagues. And Ichiro was a Hall of Fame player, no question about it. I got a lot of respect for Ichiro. He tied one of my records, and that's 200 hits a season 10 times. Now, if you want to count my professional hits, and I believe professional hits are when you get paid to play the game of baseball, which I did 2 years in the minor leagues. I got 4,683 hits. I played in Japan, and they're great over there, okay? They're very fundamentally sound. But I don't think anybody listening to you and I talk right now will think that Japanese baseball is comparable to Major League Baseball.
Well, he isn't wrong. Major League Baseball is still above the level of the Japanese NPB League. Oh, people might hate me for this. Later on August 7, 2016, Ichiro got his 3,000th Major League hit off a triple against the Colorado Rockies. He became the second player in Major League history, along with Paul Molitor, to hit 3,000 off a triple. Overall in the season, Ichiro improved, batting .291. In 2017, the Marlins picked up Ichiro's option to allow him to play for 2017. Although he didn't really do much, especially in part-time hitting .255, there was a notable moment for Ichiro where he played against the Mariners in Seattle, where he hit a home run in the top of the 9th inning, and he was met with a standing ovation.
He hit it out! Ichiro homers!
In 2018, Ichiro reunited with the Mariners for one last time. He played for the Mariners for just 15 games. Then in May, he stepped down from playing to instead engage and train with the team for the remainder of the season. In 2019, Ichiro signed for his final season in Major League Baseball with the Mariners. The plan was to play for the Mariners in the opening series in Japan and then retire. In his final games in Japan, Ichiro showed his amazing throwing arm on defense and nearly got an infield base hit. Unfortunately, he did not record a single hit in the series.
Throw to first, and Ichiro is out at first base.
Towards the end of the second game, Ichiro left the field with a huge standing ovation and embracement from his teammates.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join Major League Baseball as we salute Ichiro Suzuki.
His longtime idol and friend Ken Griffey Jr. was with the team as well. He then retired at the age of 45, and what a longevity he had for his career. Overall in his career in Major League Baseball, he posted a 60 wins above replacement, batted .311, 3,089 hits, and 509 stolen bases. For his accolades, he was a 10-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove, 3 Silver Sluggers, 2 batting titles, the Rookie of the Year and MVP in 2001, and an All-Star Game MVP. After his amazing baseball career, Ichiro became a special assistant to Mariners owner John Stanton. He regularly works with the Mariners and minor league clubs, helping young players develop running, outfield play, and batting. Later on August 27, 2022, Ichiro was officially inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Later in 2023, 50-year-old Ichiro competed in a game against a high school girls team in Japan. He threw a complete game shutout, striking out 9 batters topping at 86 miles an hour on 116 pitches. Even on his bat, he went 2 for 5 with a double. Still incredible to see this guy still playing baseball and keeping his body in shape to this very day. Finally, on January 21st, 2025, Ichiro was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Overall for Ichiro, he is not only one of the greatest players in Mariners history, but also one of the greatest players in baseball history. He will never be forgotten with his amazing work ethic, a great throwing arm, amazing speed, and unique hitting mechanics. It is a shame the Mariners could not field a competitive team with Ichiro since his rookie 2001 campaign. But otherwise, I am thankful that Ichiro played for the Seattle Mariners, and he will always be a baseball and Seattle legend. Ichiro, arigato gozaimashita. Thanks for watching. To see more of my Mariners nostalgic content, here are a few more, especially related to the years Ichiro played for the Seattle Mariners. Remember to like and subscribe, and also thank you to William Cook and Daniel Berry Sports Highlights for being members of my YouTube channel. And if you would like to join, it's only $5 a month, and thank you.
What is your favorite American expression?
In August, in Kansas City, it's hotter than 2 rats in a fucking roof sock. I have a bad teammate.